In this video, I'm going to show you how to overcome your PvP anxiety and actually become somebody that enjoys PvP in New World. This is something I struggle with myself from time to time, so in this video I'm going to teach you how I manage it and how I approach PvP anxiety. Before I share how I overcome my PvP anxiety, just note that PvP anxiety or nervousness is normal and should be viewed as something that isn't bad. Some amount of stress can even improve your gameplay, and it's okay to be a little bit nervous when you actually do PvP. But where it becomes a problem is when the anxiety is actually becoming crippling and hindering your gameplay. If you're somebody that actually has crippling anxiety and you become tilted, you feel your chest pounding and your hands get shaky after each PvP encounter, then it's something you have to manage and you actually have crippling PvP anxiety. This actually worsens your performance in PvP since you can't think straight and you're going to make lots of mistakes. So this is something that you can manage and you should manage it. And I'm going to show you how to do it. That being said, people have anxiety for different reasons. Some are afraid that they might look bad in a PvP situation. Some are afraid that they might get toxic responses from teammates and even their opponents and so on. But there's a different reason for the anxiety and everybody is a little bit different. But anxiety is all the same. It has all the same effects on us. And it's always a mental thing. So we can actually improve the way we think about PvP and how we react to a PvP situation. For me, I get anxiety since I'm way too attached to the outcome and the consequences of losing a fight. An example would be that if I lose a match in a 3v3 arena, I will let my teammates down and my reputation for my name will actually get a little bit lower since I'm a YouTuber and I need to perform. But the reason for you might even be something as simple as you don't want to look bad or you don't want to let yourself down. It's really important to be in a calm state of mind when you're PvPing and not in an anxious state. If you're anxious or overly stressed and nervous, you're going to make mistakes, you're not going to focus, and you will not be able to analyze your opponent or outsmart your opponent. Being a sweat lord is also no fun. You will have shaky hands, your heart will be beating hard, and of course, you will have excessive sweating and so on. So you will not enjoy the experience of PvP if you're anxious. This is a really big thing because you want to have fun in the game. You do not want to be a sweat lord constantly 24/7. Not that a sweat lord is a bad thing, but there's a state you can go into which is called the flow state, where you're having fun, you're actually performing better than any sweat lord could perform, or even a tryhard, which is the same thing I guess. But still, you want to be in the flow state, and the only way you can get into the flow state is by staying calm and actually enjoying yourself. Where we want to be is in a calm state, focusing on the fight and actually planning one step ahead of your opponent and tracking their skills and their movements. So we always want to think ahead when we're PvPing. And we can only do this while being calm and not reacting emotionally to everything that's happening around us. Staying calm in a stressful situation is actually a skill that you can develop, not just in PvP but in life. So this will also benefit your quality of life and so on. So if you master this, this will also transfer over to other skills in your life as well. So how do we actually practice staying calm in a PvP situation? Well, first off, the more you practice on staying calm, the better you will get at it. So it has a snowball effect. The calmer you are, the better you will get at staying calm. When you're doing PvP, never bring yourself down when losing a fight. It's easy to get tilted if you bring yourself down after losing a difficult match or a fight. Having a good self-confidence is key to keeping yourself calm and trusting in your own abilities. If you don't trust yourself, you're not going to enjoy PvP, since you will always doubt yourself if you need to actually take the fight or not, and self-doubting yourself will bring you down in the long run. If you bring yourself down after every fight, your confidence will take a hit and you won't believe in yourself. After every match, it's better to ask yourself questions on where you can improve or what you could have done better or where you could have implemented something different after each PvP encounter. It's always best to have a learning mindset instead of a mindset where you just break yourself down. Also remember that You should give yourself credit if you do something good, like for example, creating a good outplay or being a step ahead of your opponent. Even if you lose, give yourself credit as well. Always be kind to yourself when you're PvPing, so don't be too hard on yourself when you lose a match. This is the first mindset you will have to go into. Always be somebody that says good fight or whatever. Be a good person in general to yourself. I can't just give you some general advice and thinking that you will improve, so here's actually some action steps you can take to practice being calm. Every day in New World I actually practice being calm by doing my daily arenas. I basically farm my daily gypsum and then I'm done for the day. But the big key when going into arenas is to be as calm as possible and to be as relaxed as possible. I try and condition my mind to be in a calm state of mind while still enjoying PvP. So I force myself not to be a tryhard or a sweatlord. I just try to be a casual PvP gamer. So I do not try to be a professional. I am just there to play the game. My main goal when I'm going into arenas is just to not care that I die or if I do good. I'm just there to enjoy the game and play the game. I'm not trying to force myself to be better or have any expected outcome. I'm just there to teach myself to stay calm in a stressful situation. So I try to do as little as possible. This might sound counterintuitive, but when you play slower and you try to do less, you actually play better. The calmer you are, the better you're going to play. So you do not have to go into a try-hard mode to play better, since you will access the flow state more and more. And even when you try not to do as good as possible on trying to improve, you will notice that you will start improving without trying. As a human being, we have this nature of improving even without trying. So every day when we do something, we will get better at it. You do not have to try to do something better to get better at it. It will simply result in you getting better over time by your brain adjusting to your opponents or the way you play. So you will build muscle memory and you will become better in PvP over time. Plus you will have the advantage of staying calm where your opponents might be stressed out and making stupid mistakes and not noticing it. But also, just because you're improving just by not trying doesn't mean that you should not VOD review and try to find your mistakes, since you can always improve by looking at your VODs and reviewing your videos. So this doesn't take into account that you can improve by learning from your mistakes. This is just another way that you will improve if you do something over time. But you will see exponential improvement if you actually review your gameplay. Just a side note for those who actually want to get good at the game. Another side note that I will make, that if you already learned how to be calm, then you can actually force yourself to improve if you've mastered the calm state. So then you can actually implement like routines to improve and so on. But if you're not calm, you can't really improve. So when you've mastered the calm state, then you can force yourself to improve and actually do drills and so on. So to get back to the point, I just do my daily arenas and I try to stay calm and not get triggered even when I die or do bad. In a sense, I'm trying to become stoic when PvPing. You will notice being calmer after about 2 weeks of playing arenas daily. So if you play 2 to 4 arenas daily and you get your daily gypsum, it will take about 2 weeks for you to notice that you actually developed the skill to stay calm. I would also recommend that you turn off your group chat and your arena chat, so that if somebody is being toxic in chat, you won't just see the message and it will actually trigger you. Once you're calm and in control of yourself and you don't get anxiety when PvPing, then you can turn back on your chat and you can just be stoic about the toxicity and not even mind the toxicity. Just remember that you learn way more from a loss than a win, and staying calm is a skill that you can develop. Also, a side note that I want to make is that if you take a break from the game, the anxiety might even come back, but learning to stay calm is like learning to ride a bicycle. Once you know how to do it, you'll be able to bring back that calm state within a few matches of playing. Now, having said all that, you got to set yourself up for winning. You need to make sure your build is optimal, and you also need to make sure you use all the buffs and coatings when PvPing. Remember, winning never gets old, and nothing builds your confidence like winning. I would also recommend that you flag up for PvP in the open world, but just make sure that you place camps down every now and then, since you might die a lot if you actually PvP in open world. You never know what can happen. You might even get outnumbered by some PvE mobs and you die, while getting flanked from the back, who knows. But the PvP encounters that you face in the open world will teach you way more than the 3v3 matches, since you actually have something to lose. You might lose a resource, you might lose a mission or whatever you're doing in the open world. If you can stay calm in the open world, you will know that you have mastered the calm state and you will actually improve much faster. Don't just learn to cope with PvP by mastering the calm state, learn to love PvP, because PvP is actually something really great that this game provides, and it's a whole nother world that you can dive into. PvP is something that you should enjoy, and it's not something you have to be anxious about. Just play to improve, play to get better, and most of all, do all this while enjoying yourself. Now if you want to get even better at PvP, you can go and watch this video.